you felt that there are definitely several, um, or perhaps many, but at least several different beacons of so much cosmic level power that you're sure that these beings are able to basically reshape reality and perform what most creatures would consider miracles. They're able to move around so much power in such a raw and elemental way that abilities of beings like this are more like just changing reality than actually like casting a spell, using a superpower, anything like that. And this is enough because of your past experiences that we'll get into more later, to trigger a kind of burst of fear and panic that
Mm.
ripples through you. A cold sweat goes down your back, and these sensations are very, very foreign to most of your people because of their travels and their experience with so many horrors and their society basically representing the bulwark that stands against evil in the megaverse. Atlanteans are champions, they are heroes, they are warriors to the man. And essentially, you guys are all um, basically hardened so much to horror factor, terror, all that kind of stuff that most things are simply an obstacle to overcome for you, and especially because of your past. The level of power that you're sensing is enough to truly unsettle you. Now, you're not having any kind of, episode of anything. There's not like any, huge effect happening, but it is enough literally for your superhuman physiology to like break out in a cold sweat down your back and put some beads of sweat on your brow, which your guy can run all day and probably doesn't sweat a drop. So let's see. At this, the sensory kind of overload of this perception kind of snaps closed that third eye, and you kind of, with a start, come back to your senses and have to kind of catch yourself from falling over. That was a pretty abrupt and powerful end to that spell's casting, and usually things go much more smoothly. So this definitely kind of unsettled you a little bit. You're kind of, taking a couple of deep breaths and trying to get yourself refocused and centered. Both of your companions notice this, and they kind of glance over at you, kind of wondering how you're doing. As you see them look over at you, is there anything? Do you want to say anything? Do anything?
I get up and I walk back toward my party. I give them more of like a hand gesture to come follow me to this to the side real quick. Let me just give you like a little bit of a whisper, let you understand what the situation is.
Okay,
Uh
we'll say that you guys convene kind of off to the side of Kilo's vehicle, and Wotek is kind of standing. Ren, are you still there? Kilo?
He might be on break, maybe.
I just saw an exclamation mark under his character.
uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
Hmm.
Did his PC freeze too?
It's kind of
No,
weird.
he did. Yes, he did.
Did
He
it
just
really?
texted me he DC'd.
Huh.
Who's next on the chopping block?
Fucking A, man. Huh. Yeah, he should be back up pretty quick, I think. I wonder why it still shows him in the game, though. You know what? I'm just going to really quick hit refresh on my browser I think doing that once in a while might help the situation. Bear, do you get the same impression? You've
Yes.
it seems like you've seen how buggy the
I
tabletop can
think
be.
I think a courtesy
Yeah.
reflex, like a lot of things,
Right.
it's like a flush. You
That's
gotta do it.
yeah, and if you really want to
Just
be
proper
courteous, you light
etiquette.
that match at the very end.
Right.
It's like the mint on
Right.
the pillow.
I
Exactly.
appreciate
Oh shit.
heck yeah, bro.
There
All
we
right.
go.
I'll be right back.
Okay, dokie.
Oh, I forgot we're using
Interesting.
Discord. There we go.
Interesting. I need to fucking have that open. There are just so many fucking options. So many.
Hey, he's back. Welcome back.
I haven't had like issues in ages, and all of a sudden today, apparently.
Yeah, right after my fucking shit in the toilet.
It was funny. I'm like, did Dex just DC again? Hello?
You're like, no, it's me.
Me!
No, it's me.
All right. So
Dude, what did you do to piss off the machine spirit? The Omnisaya is clearly angry. What did you do?
we're going to okay, so you guys are all facing each other. Wotek, did you Kilo, did you hear that
Dex.
Dex wanted to kind of consult with you guys off to the side?
Yeah, I cut out right when you were asking what he wanted to do. So
Okay, perfect. He had just said he wanted to come over and talk with you guys kind of,
He
to the side.
gestured over to me and Wotek from behind. He gestured to you, and we're all meeting by your buggy. Like off to the side.
Yeah, you guys kind of had Wotek kind of block off the, front view
Yep.
from people and the vehicles on the side, and you're all kind of huddled in. I assume Bear's like down on a knee so that he
Yeah,
can hear
yeah.
the ant
I'm
people,
kneeling in with the group. It looks like a football huddle.
You could
right?
just sit down and be,
Get
almost.
Don't get poked in the eye with my fucking the wings on my helm. All right,
We need to get him one of like an old curved and twisted ram's horn that's been hollowed out. He could stick it in his ear like one of those old timey hearing aids.
Hello.
Pointed at all the
Christ.
people down by the ground.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right, man. So you guys are
Even though
all
he don't speak our language, but
right. You guys are all kind of huddled up and everything. I assume we've got the universal translator out.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I go ahead and go ahead.
I was gonna motion to Ymir to give it back to me since he probably still had it from when I tossed it to him earlier. At least mine. I know you have one as well.
Yeah, I have pulled mine out of my bag just so I can type as I talk,
Okay.
or I should say, let the machine listen to me as I talk so it could translate in Russian.
Sounds good. All
I'll
right.
see you doing that, but I'll get mine back still, and then see the new crack in the screen and just kind
Yeah.
of quietly
Say
sigh.
Ymir shamefully almost looks at you with his head lowered down as he extends his open
Looking the
palm.
opposite direction, like here you go, not looking at him.
Starts whistling.
Oh shit. All right. So
Very almost an apologetic tone in the way his shoulder muscles shift.
I'll pull out my notebook and write down a little note, basically being like, "Need to fix this."
yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna make like a bill out.
Like a receipt.
So as he hands it back over, all of that happens. A small spark pops out of the side of the fucking cracked frame, just to punctuate the damage, and you get your device back. Definitely not whole and intact, but still partially functional.
I got a finger as thick as a baby's arm, so
yeah.
it's just
All right, so Dex, you pull
So
yours
I
out, turn
pull
it to
them together.
Russian. Okay. And what do you want to
And
say?
I go ahead and express that I don't know if you guys know, but on the other side of this rift, it seems like it's close to this area. Maybe more northwestern of this region, about 1,000. No. Let me rewind. Like maybe like 100 miles away from this area. It seems like there's something very odd on the other side. Uh, Very high concentration of supernatural beings, or I can't express it. But it's very potent magic, and it's surrounded by a body of water. You guys came across anything like this before?
Sounds bad to me. I don't know. My experience with rifts are they never typically seem to lead to anything good.
Now, question, DM, is Dex's translator better than the one that Kilo just used, or about the same quality? Does it
Well,
come
it's
through
not cracked.
It's
I
bro.
mean,
It's better. It's better. But let's just see how well it did. Okay. Actually, this time, all of the core concepts came through very, very cleanly. So you get the gist of everything that he just tried to express. Okay?
so Ymir, after stoically listening to the message, looks over at Akame and looks over at Red and gives a nod and pounds his chest in agreement like he understands and he's ready to go whenever they are.
Okay? Excellent.
Ren pounds his chest back and then goes, "Ow."
Akama looks down, like shakes his head, like, man.
He's like, they're going to get me fucking killed, man. All right, so let me see here. Just a minute to get this going.
Well, if you guys are ready, I'm ready.
Ready? You're suggesting we go through this rift when you just said that there's evil, possibly dark magics on the other side.
Well, I did not say evil. I just said powerful beings of magical attributes.
And what purpose would we get from investigating this?
Knowledge.
What sort of knowledge are you seeking?
It's time, little ones. Gather around and take a step through to the other side. Says your guide. As you all look up, you now see that whatever the robed figure has done has coalesced into a stable portal. The gate now is wide enough and has a clear, crisp image of the other side. And you can see that it looks almost completely stable. It's still getting its last little bit of resolution in, and its last little bit of connection, but it definitely is ready for people to start going through. You see that there's already a couple of groups that hurried kind of into the queue directly next to the portal as it was forming, and they're already starting to kind of step forward in the front of the line to head through. You guys are, like I said, like 50 feet or so away, so that you guys can right away mount up and get going. You see Wotek turn up to you, Bear, and he kind of looks a bit puzzled for a moment, and kind of puts his nose to the air and sniffs several times, very, very powerfully, and shakes his head almost like he's smelling something very, very distasteful. But after just a brief moment, seems to pick his head up and his spirits seem to brighten again, and he starts turning to actually head towards the portal and head through. What would you guys like to do?
Before we move,
Go ahead.
I go ahead and I look at my party and I say, hey, I don't know about you, but I feel like we should gear up just in case. Make sure that we all are ready for anything that's on that other side.
And how would you express this to Ymir? How would you make him understand what you just said? Because what you said is fairly complex, and you don't have the translator out. So how would you make Ymir understand that?
My translator has been out and I haven't put it away yet.
Okay.
So do we need another roll to make sure I understood that?
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Bear, this is what you get.
Gear up, mother lover.
Do we have an idea of what it is exactly we're supposed to be entering and doing?
Yes, absolutely. Just
Okay.
give me a pause for 1 second. So that's what comes through, Bear. But as everybody starts grabbing their gear and preparing for combat, you realize that, again, the toy has completely failed. And you better just, do what common sense dictates, and you start preparing
follow
yourself.
the instincts of the party. Okay, so
Exactly.
Ymir looks at the translator, utterly confused, and points to it, making sure Dex is the one to retrieve it instead of him this time, so it doesn't crack.
We're ready for battle, and Namir's getting. I like you. Do you like me?
Pretty much like that. Yeah, yeah, let's just say I didn't understand a fucking word you just said, and I just picked up the vibes that everybody I can understand, especially through Wotek, given what Wotek just did. Okay, Ymir feeling a twinge of that old Vana prejudice against rifts and unnatural, what they consider unnatural magics, ripple through his system. Buries it deep down inside and strides forward to follow Wotek and the rest of his party.
Okay.
I tap Ymir on the leg because I saw how puzzled he looked as the translator said whatever it said in Russian, and I open my garb a little bit and press on my chest, and I activate Knight in full armor, and he can see that this armor suit materializes on my body, and then I look at him, Ymir, in his eyes, and I put out my two fingers like a peace sign and point to my eyes, and then I point to him, and then I'll point to my suit.
Beautiful.
I will, seeing him do that too, I will throw my hood up, and then face shield will go down, and I'll activate my armor of Ithan, and kind of give a nod like, suit up. To help push home his point, even though his was pretty obvious.
Okay, well then, given that, and I don't know how we're gonna do this, Odin, I guess you're gonna explain it to me afterwards, but seeing that his two compatriots armor up, Ymir clasps this necklace that you see that the party has noticed he had on with his armor set, but of course they're in the dark about what it does, but they can tell it's particularly special to him. He puts his hand on it every once in a while and strums his large thumb across it, and it seems to bring him a sense of peace when he does that normally. This time, though, seeing that his party members armored up, he chooses to activate his armor, not necessarily in a fully aggressive way. He doesn't call out like he normally would in the heat of combat, but he calmly says to himself, or he quietly mumbles to himself, Earth, Ra, Yo, and activates the true form of his armor before stepping through the portal.
Okay.
So, do you need me to activate that or anything, Odin?
Ren, did you cast?
I'm trying to figure out how to. I don't know how
Oh,
to.
no worries. I see that you turned it on in your profile. That's perfect. Under magic, you're gonna find that spell and just go ahead and click cast all the way over on the right.
Okay, but are we gonna have to modify some of these eventually? Because I'm not always just casting the spell. I'm using my armor has this already in it. That's the one spell I have in my armor. Like, how is that gonna work once? Because I'm not gonna be casting. I'm not like casting my spells typically. There's
EDC.
who
Yeah.
me?
There's the second one.
That's weird.
Nope.
Oh no.
Oh.
You what?
No, it didn't
Oh, I
do
just-
Discord. It was just
Yeah.
Roll20.
Odin just got booted. Nice. I got.
There we go. Fuck. All right.
Welcome back.
I don't
Alright.
mind a 10-second dip. I could deal with that.
So I'm confused by the fact that I thought Armor of Intent is the one buff I already had in my armor.
Oh.
That's
You know,
what I
guys,
thought
it's
heard.
occurring to me that so yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Having that in your armor, we need to still come up with some of the specs for everything so that we can pull PPE from your Techno Wizard gadgets. That'll be something we can do off stream super easy. For right now, we'll keep things simple.
Cast regular.
Yeah, and actually, on everybody's character, you should see under your profile now that you have your, like, every layer of armor should be turned on at the top. But under magic, you guys should go back and I think you can hit reset PPE from active profile.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I had told you guys to just go ahead and cast. Go ahead and reset your PPE.
Nice.
Oh, what the hell? You know what? I wonder if it just booted me. I wonder if it's happening because I'm in when you guys are in doing some shit like that. Let me see.
A way to avoid that, which is I'm not sure if it's possible or if it's a pain. Could you make dummy accounts of each of our characters for you, so then you can be like looking at what we're doing through yours and doing the same thing? That way, it would.
That is definitely a great idea.
Like
Let me
Ren
see.
DM.
Yeah, I could
Ren
just change the
DMC.
names and copy the characters, and then give you and have it no
So
permissions
that way you can
for
view
you
what we're
guys.
doing and see what we're doing and even click along with what we're doing. So that way
Yeah.
we're matching up, but it's not.
Yeah, no,
using
that's a
the
great
same
idea.
promo.
That's a great idea. I'll get to that off stream so that next time we won't have that. I have a feeling maybe that's what's going on. But see, now I see that nothing is playing as far as music. And
That's
I have
tough, too.
I have noticed a couple of glitches around the music sometimes. So I'm not gonna stop using shit just yet, but that's something I'll look into as we go on both of those things. And let's see if this works. Okay, good. So Yeah, you guys should all have all your PPE back because you guys were at the ley line when you guys cast all that stuff. So no problem at all. Everybody's still topped up.
So even though I have 15 PPE right now, reset.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got you. Perfect.
This all looks good. And everyone, you guys all checked in your profile to make sure that you had all your armor checked, right?
All my armor's checked now because I
Perfect.
just used the armor of Hithen.
Excellent. Just making sure everybody's basically shelled up like you were wanting. I'm trying not to open your characters to kind of avoid any issues, so... Okay.
So I need to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say everything's checked, but I didn't cast anything. Is that fine?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So did I need to check enchanted armor and hammer, or... Because right now the only profile I had active right when I cast there was Combat Ready World Maker. Did I need to check enchanted armor and hammer, or... Oh, okay. Enchanted armor, heavy hide bone. Both of those are checked. Never mind. We're good.
Yeah, you should still... Everybody should still be on the profile you started on.
Right.
Okay.
We are.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah.
Excellent. And everybody's armored up. So as you guys complete this... Sorry this has taken a little bit to do these processes, guys, but as we all know, we're all figuring out how to use this system. So, anybody that's watching this, please bear with us. All right, we're all set. Everybody casts their, all of their armored forms. Dex instantly is coated in a semi-transparent, form-fitting suit of Atlantean plate armor that has a kind of glowing, ghostly kind of shimmer and hue to it. It makes no noise as he's moving and is quite impressive. As he does this, several of the individuals that are in the surrounding groups, you hear them start making low murmurs and comments. Some of the more, shall we say, evil-looking denizens, some of the more unsavory-looking denizens of these groups seem to react very negatively and kind of erupt into some hostile kind of jeers. Nothing loud enough to try and instigate combat, but definitely openly showing their disdain for one of these megaversal champions of light. Ren is instantly coated in a set of shimmering plate made of magical force. His armor, though looking relatively thin and low power, still has a certain kind of high-tech flair and a signature kind of appearance that seems to go with his normal padded.
Well, I was going to say that according to the description, it's invisible, but I feel like so I just basically put my hood up, but when I activate it, since it's a spell from an old dwarven king, I feel like you wouldn't see anything, but if you're very perceptive, especially with smell, you might smell like a kind of like a wet stone.
I love it. I love it.
A very slight hint of like almost like water running over a rock, that kind of smell. That you would get maybe like out of the mouth of a cave, and that's all that you would get because nothing else is visible about it, or at least the physical regular eyesight. I mean, maybe if you're...
All right, man. So you flip your hood forward and activate. There's a small stud in like the lapel. And as you reach up, or at the base of the hood on one corner, and as you reach up and activate that small hidden button, that small stud, right away you feel that surge of energy flow over your body like you're being submerged in almost like warm liquid. And as soon as it takes a hold and you feel the spell completely encase your form in mega damage protection, you also smell a very, very potent odor of, like you said, wet underground stone. Um, there's a slight visible shimmer that rolls across your body as this happens. It only lasts for about a second, but it's enough that anyone watching you while it happens is able to perceive that
Spellcaster
something
would
happened.
see like a veil of the yeah. Okay.
Exactly. And in addition, because you're still working on this piece of gear, you've had some time to tinker, but this is your first real try at this. Unfortunately, not only does the odor kind of blast everybody in the immediate area, making
Stays
people kind
around
of
and
look
doesn't
around and wonder. Also, right away, you feel your faceplate get just a little bit tighter, and you frown as you realize that once again, you have grown about a foot-long beard, and it now is mashed up against the inside of your faceplate, okay? You also notice that your vision becomes just a little bit blurry, and you let out a really loud belch that's all audible to everybody around you, as you realize that essentially your belly feels and your head feel like you've just had one or two large
I got
pints
a warm
of strong
beer burp
ale.
in my mask.
Exactly. And it just kind of a little bit of foam and froth bubble out into your beard, your newly formed beard, just keeping that kind of stench and stink right there up against your nose. And once again, you realize back to the lab we must go. All right, man.
I like this. This reminds me of like wild magic for a sorcerer and shit. That's cool. I like that. Thank you. Very nice.
All right.
Very nice.
So you're all set, and Bear, I mean, you say your chant and immediately just become this huge titanic goddamn walking mountain of fucking metal and potential fury and mischief. So right away there's a couple of loud actual gasps, and we just want to put this up real quick so that people can. I don't think this is showing it to all the players, but people watching this, I just wanted you to see again. This is what Bear's character really looks like. So he's just a huge mountain of metal. All right,
Bare
guys.
bone and skin fused together and draping off and
Yeah, very savage and primordial. And we really appreciate Kilo has been trying to get some custom artwork going for the characters. He's already done a great job for Dex's character and his own. And looking forward to, he's currently working on getting something going for Bear's character. So really looking forward to seeing that. We appreciate him putting in all that effort.
absolutely.
As you guys are all armored up, and the reactions of everybody in the other groups have died down, and people are starting to pick up speed, kind of heading through again. You guys all start kind of turning and making your way directly towards your destination. I assume you're hopping back in the vehicle, Ren?
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Dex?
I'm not gonna leave it. Yeah.
Do you want to hop through in his vehicle, or do you want to stay out and do it on foot?
Nope. I'm jumping right in with him.
Can I signal him and hit a button in my vehicle where it will, from its base, pop up the gun on the back of my, buggy that we had discussed? I don't know if we have any stats for that yet, though.
Knock knock. Oh.
What is happening?
Our God has abandoned us.
Oh shit, my bad. Guys, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. What's the last thing you heard me say?
I had asked about the thing popping up from my vehicle, the gun, and then I said, "Do we have stats for that?"
Yes,
Though?
my bad.
Then
Sorry, I was
then
about to
I heard
take a
nothing.
sip of something, so I muted. Yeah,
Oh,
essentially, you're absolutely able to do that. We can just fudge whatever we need as far as stats. And I just was asking if you could go ahead and explain when you hit that button and kind of point back there. If you'd explain roughly how that unfolds out of the back of your vehicle
sure.
or
So
the whatever top side, whatever.
like in a pickup work truck, a lot of times towards like the base of the where the cab, you'll see like a long toolbox going the width of the cab or the gate back. Put this on the side, back right. It's kind of parallel with like goes a long ways down the vehicle. It looks kind of like you might think would be a toolbox, covered up. It's compact and a kind of like an armature almost pops up where there's a small 2-foot stirrups and a small, almost like bicycle like seat set on this backward facing arm, and then the other forward facing arm that's hinged on that is attached to a large gun that folds in and collapses into itself, but pops up and has mobility to go 360 degrees in the back of my vehicle for a mounted gunner if someone would want to take that role for ranged combat while I am driving, since I'm driving and I can't control it.
Yep.
So as he points up to that, do you want to hop in?
I hop right in.
All right, man.
I understood what he said, and I
Don't know how
roll.
familiar you are with these weapons, but it's there to use.
What? I'm sorry. What kind of weapon did we say it was?
We're saying rail.
Okay, perfect. You have heavy mega damage weapons proficiency, and so as you hop into the little, it's basically an open seat, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's like a bike seat on the lower hinged arm that comes up with two
okay.
footrests. So like you're kind of sitting like you're on a bike, but instead of pedaling, it's just two foot stirrups that you kind of rest in. So you're sitting kind of slightly backwards, but you're holding on to the handles of the gun. So it's like
Jesus.
it'd be like someone's on a bike.
That sounds scary as fuck as you're speeding down the road and shit, man. Holy shit. All right, man. So you hop in and
Well, I mean, if someone falls off, I'll eventually create a seatbelt mechanism. But until then,
right.
Seatbelt.
All right, man. So as you strap into that fucking suicide machine, man, and you fucking lean down into it and get all set, you think to yourself, God damn, we need to figure something else out, man. We definitely want a different situation for my ass at some point. So, you get, which remember, at any time when you're ready, you've got your mount that you can summon. It's just, costly.
how big are you, Dex? How
I'm
big
fucking
is
7-footer,
what's
Yeah.
your weight?
250 pounds.
As you sit in the seat, it goes.
Yeah, right.
A little bit, just a little bit. You're kind of like
Loading that
and I just
suspension a
start,
bit.
as soon as you have that thought of like, I don't know about this, I start driving.
Oh shit! You should have felt that when I first got in the car.
All right. So you guys start heading forward. Everybody's mounted up. Dex, with your training, you are able to right away familiarize yourself with the layout of the weapon system. Very, very
Yeah.
basic, but you feel like, this kind of harkens back to when you used to try and fucking, shoot shit on a little land speeder back
Yeah.
in your home colony. So you're all set. Definitely feel competent with the weapons, and you guys head forward into the rift. Let's see here.
Fucked up.
I like how everyone looks all badass activating their armor, but deep down I fucking feel like an idiot because I grew a fucking beard and had a beer burp.
Oh shit! All right,
I
so
say nothing.
Ymir looks at Ren's beard, nods in approval.
you
Oh,
know,
you can't see it yet. You can't see it yet. You
keep
will,
this in
but you can't see
mind.
it yet.
That's one of
It's
the
under my.
advantages of also having the spell version. You know what I mean? So you're gonna be
Oh
able
yeah,
to.
it just goes up.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mhm.
all right. Let me really quick make sure we're set. All right, guys. So as all of these individuals start stepping through the portal, there isn't any kind of shimmer that goes across them like all that Stargate kind of old visuals. There's no huge warping feeling. You just simply see these people and creatures stepping through the portal in front of you as though there's no disturbance whatsoever. And as each of you in turn begin heading through, you see that your contact and the robed figure appear to be staying behind until everyone gets through. And give me just one moment. Okay. Okay, the robed figure you see is standing there, still concentrating, manipulating the rift. But you notice now what you thought before was kind of a slight frame is actually due to the individual just being a smaller male. The robe's proportions and dimensions gave it more of a feminine look from behind, but you do notice now that this is essentially who has been opening that gateway and controlling it, working together, obviously, with your whoever this guide is. Um, as you step through and get this perspective, this view of him, you notice that each one of you is very carefully scrutinized by those glowing eyes. And as you pass through, unbeknownst to your guide, who is now facing in the other direction and appears to be pulling out some kind of communications device that looks like some kind of, it looks almost like a small trumpet with several jewels and gems and a great deal of silver wiring and electronic components apparently fused onto its base. It's only about half the size of one of the actual instruments, and it appeared to have been folded over and is quite thin and delicate looking. As he unfolds this, he holds it up to his ear and begins communicating almost like you've seen people do with, walkie-talkies, radios, phones, all of that kind of stuff.
I will pay close attention to this device that he's pulled out. It looks interesting to me.
Okay, you take a very close look as you're leaving. Go ahead and roll a perception check, if you would.
If I roll a decent one this time, because I've been rolling like shit. Why did I say anything?
All right, so as you're walking away, because of how everybody is passing each other, and the order everybody's moving, it's one of those situations where you're catching a glimpse of it, but it's not enough to really get any kind of solid image. What I've told you is
I'm more
about all
focused
you
on
can
driving
glean.
and not running over people. Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly. All right, so
Can I peer over and check it out too?
yeah, make a perception check. Absolutely.
Oh,
You guys have all seen what I've described so far, so
where are you? Where are you?
should be under saving throws. Make sure
So
that
yeah,
your
your
profile's active.
Saving throws.
Profiles will make sure it's that you hit the
Perception.
active thing. Right side under the.
Public role. Yes.
I think didn't even roll, just landed on a 15.
I love how it says carefully looks around. That's fucking dope.
Is there a stat? Sorry, is there a stat in this game like besides perception, like an Arcana stat, where like just about like more like magical based devices or maybe
Yeah, bro,
technological
it's
based
it's
devices?
all in your skills. You've got a ton of that shit. You've got a ton of
Okay.
that shit. And then did you get an opportunity to read over your psionics?
Yes, I did.
Did you notice how powerful some of that shit is?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. You're almost like a tech priest
Even
kind of
even
level shit.
combining some, you can even combine some of them for greater effect. It's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity. That's what I was saying yesterday about how we can actually run like cyberpunk net running shit. That's fucking awesome. So, all right, guys.
Ymir would like to use my lore monster magic to potentially suss out what we're looking at as well, just like the rest of the party.
Okay. Go ahead and I think does that lore have a percentage next to it?
Let me see.
Nice on the 19 decks too.
Okay, and your
Thanks,
perception
brother.
Show me up.
your perception check definitely succeeds. You're able to get a very, very clear look at the device that your guide unfolded. And as you do, Dex, under your skills, take a look and see what you have as far as. Oh, wait a minute. Did you. No, I'm sorry, that was last night. Okay. So, um, go ahead and take a look under your skills and see if you have anything that's like, magic lore, um, anything like that.
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
Let me
If you've
second.
got anything that would apply to this, just let me know.
Do. Lore magic.
Okay. Uh, why don't you go ahead and, if you don't mind, just read the description for that one?
Lore magic. Of course, I don't have one.
You just click on that little
I
eye
have it.
in the circle.
Yeah,
I have it if you don't have it.
I don't have it. Go ahead.
Okay, so this area of study does not give the character any magic powers. To use the ability to use technological devices or the ability to read magic symbols. What it provides is general information about magical creatures, the Federation of Magic, Laszlo, Tolkien, and myths about magic. For example, a character with this skill knows about the general powers and abilities of infamous magic creatures, such as various types of dragons, sphinxes, unicorn, and so on. He'd know what are the main types of magic on Earth, at least his geographic area, such as spell casting, line walkers, summoning shifters, rifting shifters, techno wizardry, conjuring, stone magic, biowizardry, necromancy, and so on. Likewise, the character is likely to know legends about powerful magic items, places, curses, and notorious practitioners of magic. Although the character cannot read runes or mystic symbols, he is likely to be able to recognize whether the symbols are real magic or is a real magic ward, rune, or anything or warning. So it's basically you have knowledge of magic, although the skill doesn't allow you necessarily mean that you can do magic.
Okay, so as you're observing this individual, um, you realize that you've seen him before. You understand that in some of your investigations into the Earth-based faction of the Federation of Magic, which is kind of like the magical counterpart to the coalition states we've discussed.
Ooh, okay.
They are a consolidation of any magic using and supernatural entities that wish to ally themselves together, especially for the express purpose of countering the coalition's uh, human supremacist and militaristic, hostile approach towards dealing with any supernatural, magically based or magic using entities. So the coalition, like we've discussed, is almost like a human supremacist, military Nazi uh, conclave of settlements that usually have access to pre-cataclysm technology, which was extremely advanced, like we've discussed. Those areas of humans that were able to survive the apocalypse and retain some of that technology still have access to fragmented bits of it. Nobody is able to still create things like they used to be able to. That technology, for the most part, is lost, but that's why a lot of money is made and a whole economy exists around the excavation, location, and reclamation of pre-cataclysm technology. So, uh, in this environment, the Federation of Magic it can be an evil dragon, uh, it can be a rogue juicer, it can be a runaway dog boy who used to be a slave of the coalition, having to hunt down magical practitioners and creatures with its senses that let it do that. So there could be all kinds of either good, evil, or anything in between creatures and entities that are in the Federation of Magic, all working together basically out of self-preservation. Okay, so
Okay.
you remember that in an old hollow feed that you were watching about the Federation of Magic, you've seen this individual before. Um, he is known as Baba Took, and from what you understand, he is he is what is called a shifter, and those are individuals who are able to basically manipulate dimensional anomalies, open portals, do different things like that. But they have a real focus on being able to summon and control powerful entities and make bargains and deals with extraplanar and, like I said, really potent magical forces in order to achieve their goals. Some of them even sell their services to unscrupulous individuals um, in order to get, revenge, a heart's desire, love, any of those foolish mortal desires that always get us caught up in drama. So, as you recognize this individual, uh, he sees the recognition in your eyes, and just with utmost grace and finesse, gives you the most subtle of nods of the head, with a very wry and dry hint of a smile as well, almost like "good to meet you too." Okay. Um,
Nice.
with this, you fully emerge into the other side of the rift, and as you do, the next group of people coming through kind of obscures your vision. Um, Bear, You had done. I'm sorry. You had done which?
Lore monster magic. I have both.
Lore monster magic. Let's see. We're only going to use one. So which would you prefer to use? Because of the time frame, it's going to just be a quick kind of skill check.
Monster.
Okay? Go ahead and do your skill check.
Okay. Modifier none.
Uh you're looking at what exactly?
The skills.
No. I mean, what do you want to be focusing on with this skill?
Oh, I'm focused on the caster that the gentleman or creature that you just showed us off.
Okay.
Ymir is intently focused on him. He kind of looks over at Wotek to see what Wotek can sense or thinks about what his general energy is right now, as they're both intently locked on this being of obvious immense power.
Lore monster magic. I don't know why it had a 0%, but it doesn't even matter. I'll go in and check your skills after a while. A 23 definitely succeeds. And
Nice.
so you're able to discern. Let's see here. You're able to immediately discern that some of the patterns that you're seeing repeated across the golden details in his robe's adornments, some of the patterns harken back to pages of a sacred text that you were shown as you were going through your Kuznia training. And they are part of a Russian proverb that essentially cautions against the desire for too much knowledge. As soon as you see this, you realize that this spellcaster, this practitioner of magic, definitely heralds from your part of the world or has some kind of mystical training from that area. You don't believe that he's a Kuznia at all, but to have something that specific to a very small region, and the wording of it is exactly how it would have been in your native tongue. The order of the symbols, I should say. And
Mm-hmm.
so what you find is that combined with his general appearance and aesthetic and the way he seems to be casting and using magic, this individual would have been what was basically known as a black soul. And those individuals in your culture are some of the most reviled and hated abusers of the mystic arts and of nature. Um, because to your people, these individuals that are able to summon and contact true evil, universal evil, these are beings that are so far past, the normal scale of right and wrong and good and evil and balance, that they have to be seen almost like a cancer or a sickness within reality. And you know to both respect and have a healthy amount of fear for this individual, because all of the ones that you've ever heard of that exist only get this way by brokering with things so powerful that they will take a young and impressionable practitioner and skip over many of the smaller steps that they would normally have to go through by basically fusing and bonding with the individual in a very primordial way. So, in that sense, individuals of this scale have been joined with something, truly abominable for probably a good part of their life. And usually, from what you remember, they don't even really remember what having a human perspective is like. They are almost completely alien creatures that wield incredible amounts of power. So, okay. That's what you glean from that. Now, nobody's had an opportunity to share this just yet, so keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys step through the portal